So you're in a continent that has 100 gigawatt deficit of electricity. So this continent needs 100 gigawatts of electricity. And it's in a sea of gas. There's gas everywhere. Yeah. So in many ways, Africa can solve its own problem. In Africa, you don't have a sufficient entrepreneurial class yet to pick up for that multiplier effect. And that's how jobs get created. We're a company that likes working with small businesses, both on a buy side and also on the sell side. So we very much appreciate that relationship. And I think we view that as a skill set. Africa truly needs everything that GE has. So from jet engines to locomotives to things like that. We're at roughly a $6 billion run rate right now. So we've multiplied by 10 our revenue in, let's say, 10 years. That's a faster growth trajectory than China. We could sell more locomotives here than just about any region in the world. You need to know Nigeria from a couple different angles. You need to know it from the angle of how does Shell feel about it. You need to know how the vice president feels about it. You need to know how Aliko Dangote feels about it. You need to experience a 2.5-hour traffic jam on the bridge going to the airport in Lagos to know how your team really, what's their life like every day. So you need. I know what can happen in Mozambique because I've seen Brazil. In other words, I know what can happen in Nigeria because I've seen Brazil. One of the most dangerous things you can ask when you're CEO is, where do you live? I wouldn't have given you one chance that they would have gotten the power reform done last year. Maybe 1 in 10. They got it done. Sure. So every time I get smarter about the things I like, but also I see where the next challenges are at the same time. If we do our job, we could do $1 billion a year in Mozambique, more than that in Angola, and much more than that in Nigeria. I'm not sure I could have found Mozambique on a map 6 years ago. There's 50 different PPP programs to do public-private partnerships in healthcare around the world. Only 5 of them will work. There has to be ways to bring the cost of capital down in Africa. And that's the big challenge. And how do you get all the liquidity that exists around the world to price risk the right way? And then what I plan to do is use the GE balance sheet, not the GE capital balance sheet, to invest in Africa. We're going to take a couple $100 million, put it here, and then let it rotate project by project. I view the risk-return equation in Africa to be positive for investors today. One of the things I like about Africa is that people connect the dots and they respect the companies that are willing to be with them on the ground. Nigeria needs 40 gigawatts of power. They have gas. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.